A recently departed AEW star in the Royal Rumble, a WWE wrestler failing, and some good old-fashioned bad Vince McMahon booking. I'm Oli Davis, and this is the WrestleTalk News!
Support WrestleTalk!
Before I get into the top stories, happy belated birthday wishes to a man who's experiencing a WWE renaissance right now. R-Truth. Truth suffered a routine quad tear in November 2022, but his recovery post-surgery became anything but. Talking on the Cheap Heat podcast, Truth has revealed he got MRSA, staph, and their cousins and kinfolks all at the same time, forming some kind of infection superfaction. It caused a hole in his knee, and at one point, the option of amputation was considered. Thankfully, he made a full recovery and has surprisingly become one of the more featured acts on WWE Raw, helping Counterfeit Judgment Day t-shirt sales soar. And he's tweeted that for his birthday, his JD best buddies sent him a lovely card, signed, of course, by all of them, Tom and Nick Mysterio included. As far as one age R-Truth celebrated turning, he's 28. He's eternally 28 years old, like he's been every year for the last quarter of a century. Seriously, the guy doesn't age. I think he's a time traveler. I think the story of him having surgery is actually a ruse. He was going back in time to enter the 2001 Royal Rumble match. Yeah, I watched it over the weekend, and there he is, looking exactly the same as he does now. Despite never establishing himself on the main WWE roster, Tye Dillinger's number 10 entry spot in the 2017 Royal Rumble match is one of the loudest pops in the show's history. At the time, NXT was the best North American wrestling promotion out there, where Tye's Perfect 10 gimmick was super over. And maybe we'll see it again this weekend. Dillinger, who has been wrestling under his real name Shawn Spears in AEW for the past 5 years, has replied to a tweet about the Royal Rumble now getting its own emoji, a red counter from 10 timer with the eyes emoji, and his own number 10. Spears debuted for AEW at the promotion's first pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, in 2019, where he would go on to a controversial feud with Cody Rhodes. He accidentally busted Cody's head open with a chair, and then took on Tully Blanchard as his manager and became a member of MJF's Pinnacle faction. That began to dissolve in early 2022, and he mostly disappeared from main roster AEW programming. He only wrestled 8 times for AEW last year, mostly on live shows, pre-shows, or, even worse, Rampage. I agree, Tony Khan. Cage match is a useful resource. Perhaps motivated by his on-screen decline, Spears announced on the 28th of December he would be leaving AEW, and that this is a personal choice and one that is best for me and my family at this time. Fightful Select had already reported Spears would be leaving AEW when his contract expired on the 1st of January 2024. Spears has been very good friends with WWE's Cody Rhodes since they first met in OVW. It's partly why he got the AEW job, and was a valuable member of Triple H's original Black and Gold NXT run. With both of those guys now effectively running WWE, surely they'll have Tye Dillinger make a number 10 cameo return for the Rumble. Then, just like Carlito and Rey Mysterio before him, they can judge whether there's enough fan interest to bring him back for something more substantial on TV. But the number 10 entrant is only one of 60 spots to fill for this Saturday's premium live events. Subscribe to WrestleTalk and enable notifications because we'll be streaming the whole thing live from our watch party. So who's going to be in the other spots? Usually Michelle McCool. How many surprise returns can you have before it's no longer a surprise? I'll tell you more right after this short clip from the brand new episode of 3 Count of Luke and I reviewing every Royal Rumble ever in 3 words or less / fewer. Cena comes back. Everyone's like, oh my God, Cena came back? How? 4 months out from a torn pec? That's a year recovery time. And then it takes about a minute for everyone to go, wait a sec. We don't like this guy.
I hate Super Cena.
Boo!
That is what this show's about. It's that Cena return pop. And him standing there with his hands and he goes...
He looks so insufferably smug.
Oh yeah, it's a punchable face.
I've recovered really well.
And I'm gonna win, lol.
After mostly retiring in 2011, McCall has featured in the 2018, 2022 and 2023 Women's Rumble matches. No slacker, she actually set the inaugural Rumble's elimination record. PW Insider is reporting she is expected to be in town for the show along with her real-life shoot husband, The Undertaker, who'll be performing his One Dead Man show the day after. The other WWE legend expected to be in town is Rey Mysterio, who was written off TV in November by an attack from Santos Escobar to cover for his real-life knee surgery. There's a possibility he could be cleared in time for a Rumble return. Trinity Fatu, the former Naomi in WWE, also just got one step closer to a Royal Rumble return after losing her Knockouts Championship to Jordynne Grace at TNA's Hard to Kill premium live event. Not a pay-per-view, she wrestled her final match at the following TV taping, set to air on January 25th, just 2 days before the Rumble. After that match, Trinity cut a seeming farewell promo to the live crowd. Coming to TNA has been life-changing for me both inside and outside the ring. I feel honoured to work with such a strong division, an incredible group of women. Whenever y'all think of TNA, I want y'all to think of me, Trinity and Trinitane. Trinitane? Trinitane. Trinitane. Thank you for coming out, we love you. And then there's also Kazuchika Okada, who shockingly announced he'll be leaving his longtime promotion of New Japan, marking the first time in history the top star in Japan has left for a North American company. According to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, I know people in AEW who think they've got him. I know people in AEW who hope they've got him, but don't think they've got him. I know people in WWE who hope they're gonna get him and who believe that. Kazuchika Okada to somewhere confirmed. Okada has spoken to Tokyo Sports about him leaving New Japan, a choice he reveals he only made recently, explaining the main reason is that he didn't want to become complacent. He's wrestled in New Japan as the Rainmaker for 12 years and has accomplished everything there is to do there. Maybe if I stay here, I can wrestle without any inconvenience, but I don't want to become the same Kazuchika Okada without such hunger. I don't want to be in a situation where I have to rest on my laurels. As for the promotion he's leaving behind, Okada delivered a line stiffer than an Ishii headbutt. I can tell you one thing about the future of New Japan. It's not a chance. It's a crisis. The next generation can't just think, oh, this is our chance. They have to step up and save the company. Okada reportedly still hasn't decided where he will go. On the AEW side, he has about 2 years of great matches lined up for him. But on the WWE side, there is the greater chance of a historic legacy and getting to wrestle at WrestleMania. And, most importantly, there isn't a crazy old man who'll make him dress up as a ninja anymore. A Kato not to WWE confirmed. The January 19th episode of SmackDown saw Butch finally drop his ridiculous name, getting repackaged as Pete Dunne and reforming British Strong Style with Tyler Bate. Butch was a piece of legacy crap booking, inherited by Triple H from Vince McMahon's decades in charge. Also see Piper Niven, Doudrop. But according to the brilliant Mansoor and Mace in an interview with Muscle Man Malcolm, it could have been even worse. Dude, Vince McMahon wanted Butch to be a guy that never wrestles. Vince wanted Butch, Pete Dunne, to be a scrappy little guy who just attacks people, but he never wanted Butch to actually wrestle a match. You can definitely see that in how the brawling brutes of him, Sheamus and Ridge Holland would present themselves, and commentary frequently describing Dunne as a Scrappy-Doo style character. You know, Scrappy-Doo from Scooby-Doo, the dog that was one of the most hated cartoon characters ever. Great inspiration! With so much fantastic wrestling talent out there, you have to be extraordinary to keep up. Sometimes, even being one of the best amateur wrestlers of your generation isn't enough. The Olympic gold medal winning wrestler Gable Steveson was signed by WWE in September 2021. The only other gold medal winner WWE had ever signed was Kurt Angle, so the bar was pretty high, it's up there. There were reports he'd be a regular on Raw soon. He was even included in the WWE draft. But 2 years later, he's gone down to NXT and he's still there. His first on-screen match being one of the worst of the year against Baron Corbin at the Great American Bash. He has started to wrestle live event matches in 2024 against the likes of Cedric Alexander and Cameron Grimes, but Dave Meltzer has been surprised at his lack of development. PW Insider has now added that there are no plans to feature him in the Men's Rumble match. Unfortunately, Stevenson's focus on pro wrestling has come at the expense of something he could genuinely excel at: a return to amateur wrestling. With Sports Illustrated reporting he won't be involved this season, and coach Brandon Eggum revealing WWE wants Stevenson to instead solely concentrate on improving a professional wrestling. Now go watch Luke and I review every Royal Rumble ever in 3 words or less. /viewer.